Well, it's been some evening for me, I'll tell you, so far. I had a whole long list of things I was going to do and tear up the people that roasted me, but I don't think I'll do that now. We've had enough laughs for tonight, I think. Margaret's still working. Some of the other characters are, and I hope that in the months to come that I'll be able to pick up that pin money, as I call it, that I will be receiving from Social Security. Seems hard to believe when I say the words Social Security, you know? I hope that don't interfere with my sex life, Rube. No, but I figured, you know, the kids, a lot of things have interrupted with my sex life. That's another roast. Seriously, though, I've had a wonderful career. I thank my lucky stars that I got into it. It's hard to believe that it's been 33 years. When I stumbled into that studio with a couple of handmade puppets made by the wife, as you've heard before, and tried out for television, I was more scared when they said, "We'll take you," because then I was on my own. But looking back in those live days, it was exciting. The old adrenaline was flowing every day, and every day mistakes were made, as they're bound to be. Today it's foolproof. It's all electronic. The old tapes say, "You goof, man, do it 15 more times." Time you get to 15, I think some of the spontaneity is gone. You know what I mean? You tell a joke 15 times, well, that's the idea. But technology moves on. It's good in its ways, but I think we're lacking in one certain aspect of television that's important to every neighborhood that receives television, and that's local programming. We don't have it. We don't have it. We have a special, most likely a news special. We have the news every night. Syndicated show after syndicated show. Nobody in Bangor is right there in the studio doing it for us, especially the kids. Nobody in there saying, "Ed, tell us a joke. Put on that funny hat. Kids, come on down Saturday. Gonna have a big blast, free coloring books." Kids miss that. Recently, they had a 20th anniversary of the Howdy Doody show, and they had a live audience. The magic was back again. The kids were laughing at what happened. Goofs were made. Children got to be pretty sharp to pick up the goofs. Show continued. Everybody enjoyed it. Stop that. You got to make that puppet turn that way. Little bit of light hitting its forehead. What would you do in live television? You don't worry about a thing like that. You keep on trucking. It was adventurous. It was fun. And thanks to my wonderful wife, Ruby, who stood behind me all the way in those first 3 weeks, because every day for the 3 weeks that I started, I'd come home and say, "That's it, I'm not going back tomorrow. I'm not." For the first 3 weeks, George Hale took me to work. That's the truth. I didn't have a car, and I was down there, and he saw this guy with a little black bag. Took me right to the studio. 4 weeks before I got an old beat-up Chevy. I thank him to this day, and George's still working. Good for him. No. I mean, George is a legend in his own. You know that. Well, he's got a roast coming too probably someday. So, but you know that. But anyway, I've loved every minute of it. I've seen a lot of people in 33 years come through that studio. Some have stayed. Some have gone on to bigger things, like Roy Dunphy, who at GAN, right? WGAN, top man there. Broderson Awards, wallpapered office. One after the other. But he learned his trade at Channel 2. And he learned it with a couple of spotlights and the black and white camera. He made some marvelous little ads. We did a lot of tricky stuff. No budget. We might have got $10 out of the boss at that time. Rudy Marcoux, who's long gone, to the big screen up there. And I hope they have color, Rudy. But no. Now, don't get me wrong. But the first man that hired me for television was a genius by the name of Murray Carpenter. He was a genius. He was right off New York advertising agencies. He created some of the big slogans of the soap companies. He came to Maine and bought that station. And I was fascinated when I saw my first live television pictures. I guess it was in Connecticut. Stood outside of a auto supply store and gathered around in the rain. Saw this little box making the pictures, you know. It was quite a while. It was 54, I guess, for television. Came to Bangor. And I went out and bought that first set and just mummified like everyone else and watched anything that would move, station breaks. You know how fascinated you are by it. But anyway, that's how I got the taste for it, and I got up nerve enough to say I'm going to try for it. I did try, with the help of my wife, and from that little beginning with the Toby Time program, on and on to other programs, and I've thoroughly enjoyed every minute. I've never faced a camera with a feeling like, oh, here we go again, nobody's watching, who cares, you sloughed that word, you shouldn't have. I go out there and I do my best. Now I can't miss with tape, of course. You do it wrong, you do it over. But in the live days, boy, it was really exciting. You had a little extra time. They'd let you go over the 30 seconds, you know. They wouldn't try and chop you off. They didn't want to lose clients anyway. You might give a guy 35, 36 seconds. That was big in those days. But now you don't. Boy, it's more like 29 seconds. You guys don't get that second even. Cut it right down there, you know. Some of them come, so drop it in. You know, cram them all together here. But anyway, that's the business. I don't know nothing about the business end of television. I never did want to know, because I just don't have it up here. I don't have that brain to absorb all the numbers and all the bookkeeping and crap. I am a performer, and that's what I've done. People would come back to the studio after 10 years. Jesus, Ed, you're still here. You're still doing the same thing. Where's your ambition? I said, I'm doing just exactly what I like to do. And I tell you, by doing that, I slept well every night, and I have ever since. So to sum it all up, I want to thank all of you that I haven't met tonight, old friends out there. I haven't got the hug yet. I love that I'm at the hugging stage. And I want to meet you. And as I say to my daughter, Wendy, and her husband, Dana, my wife, Ruby, and my other daughter, Shirley, we want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for you being here tonight. I'm having a wonderful time, and I hope to shake hands with all of you. Thank you.